So thank you so much for being here. Thank you to Skoll for inviting us back. And thank you to the Foundry. I would just like to take a minute to call attention to this amazing building. Not only is it an amazing building, but incredible people work here who have been so welcoming and so collaborative and so supportive. And I didn't know too much about the building until we came in here, but this is a creative incubator for the 24,000 students here in Oxford and alumni to build new social ventures and do good in the world. It's amazing, and so we are so happy and grateful to be able to occupy their space for a while and bring some stories to you as a gift, as a revival. Oh, by the way, I'm Wendy Levy, and I am lucky enough, thank you. I'm lucky enough to lead an organization called the Alliance for Media, Arts, and Culture. We embolden creative networks and artists and connect them with the world. So, hello world. Tonight, you're gonna get about 70-ish minutes of some amazing music, stories, poetry from people who have become my dearest friends. And just a couple of things before we get started. We're not gonna take a break. It's gonna be 70 minutes all the way along. So please, if you need a beverage from the lovely people at the bar, if you need to go to the restroom, just feel free to quietly slip out, get something, and quietly slip back. But of course, if you're wrapped through the whole thing and just like to stay in your seats and feel what you're feeling, we'd love that too. The restrooms are straight back there in case anyone needs to know. Please silence your devices. So we don't get bells and whistles in the middle of our deep heart-opening performances. And let me introduce you just briefly to the performers here. You're going to meet Dr. Blue Mike McKeon, musician and poet. He's a Brighton-based blues and roots folk man who's actually been described as the bastard son of Tom Waits and Howlin' Wolf. Wait till you hear him. Samina Zara. How do you describe Samina? She's a storyteller, a writer, a director, a comedian, pretty much an international fringe festival superstar. It's a real treat to have her here. Bella Cox grew up in Kenya, now living in London. She's a Word and Sound Slam champion, a Hammer and Tongues National Poetry Slam finalist. And last but certainly not least, Jeremiah Brown, AKA Sugar J Poet. He's a Barbican Young Poet alumni, a Roundhouse resident artist, and recently featured in the Evening Standard for his poem, I'm Rooting for Everybody Black. So yeah, tonight we're gonna riff on possibilities. We're gonna bare our souls, spread some light. We're gonna bare our souls, spread some light, get close, dare to be who we are, right here, right now. And you know, we don't really know how it's gonna go, but we have a feeling. This is a gift for you all. We made this show with you in particular in mind, so we hope you just get close enough to feel the revival. And now, please give it up for Mike McKeon.
I see taxi cab cars, ain't all the bars where the music is sound. I'll be heaven bound. Yeah, we're doing good business. Yeah, doing good business. Yeah, we're doing good business when the sun goes down. Sweet shop Sal, she'll be open in a while. They're selling sugar and spice. All those naughty things nice. Yeah, doing good business. Yeah, doing good business. Yeah, we're doing good business when the sun goes down. I said, Jim and my man are seeking honey around town. I feel like I'm seeking out my oh my. Yeah, we're doing good business. Yeah, doing good business. Yeah, we're doing good business when the sun goes down. Thank you very much. This one's called Who Lit the Fire. I got no one to blame, I got no one to name, no one to call a liar. I got no one to name, I got no one to blame, no one to call a liar. Well, it stood too close, got my fingers burned, I got my fingers burned in the fire. I said, who lit the fire? I said, who lit the fire? I said, who lit the fire? Well, I took two sticks, I rubbed them hard. I said, I rubbed them hard together. I said, I took two sticks, I rubbed them hard. I said, I rubbed them hard together. There's a friction on that old hardwood. I said, the friction on that old hardwood. I said, the friction on that old hardwood. I said, the friction started a fire. So I lit the fire. I said, I lit the fire. I said, I lit the fire. Sin. Sin makes me feel alive. All that emptiness inside leaves in that moment as I feel. Breathe in air, feel the blood in my veins, the anticipation coursing through my brain. Who decided this was sin? Men dressed in satin, that's one vowel away from Satan. Living one life and selling another. They used to stand over us on God's day off, on the moral high ground. Now they bore into our minds from flickering screens every single day, feeding on our dreams, and the message is the same. Fear. Fear gods, fear yourself, fear success, fear happiness, fear love. Fear love. We can't change anything. Fear. It's always been like this. Fear. What can I do? Fear. I'm too busy. Fear. It'll never work. Fear. Oh, it'll be all right. hope. She doesn't look like me, fear. He doesn't like me, fear. That nice man on the telly says, fear. I'm just. You are just. Balance it all up. You decide how to feel, what to think, who to love, what to believe, and when to question. Watch out for squeaky clean, shiny, well-dressed folk, draped in gold, with the means to tell the time expensively. It's your time. Use it. Use it to rebel if you want. Sin, brothers and sisters. Turn over the gold coins with the figurehead of our latest oppressor stamped on the back. Turn over the coin and stamp the word sin. Share it. I don't know, grab a tenner, colour in the Queen's head so she looks like Amy Winehouse. That's not very nice. The Queen does so much for the economy. Fear. Look up. Turn off. Turn around. Get outside and live. Would you get that applause going for Samina Zera? This is called Blue Valentine. Blue Valentine, all the way from Philadelphia to mark the anniversary of someone that I used to be, the ghost of your memory. Hang on a minute. You're Tom Waits, I said.
I sure am.
But what are you doing here, I said.
I'm not here.
Then what are you doing in my head, I said.
I'm not in your head. You're dead.
Then why am I talking to you if I'm dead, I said.
I'm God.
I don't believe in you, I said. Tom tipped his hat, opened his arms wide, and shrugged.
I'm God to you.
But that doesn't make any sense, I said.
Whose words did you remember when you last closed your eyes?
Blue Valentine. Oh! So that's why you're here, I said, because I was singing Blue Valentine when...
Yes.
So, I said, if I was singing, say, the hills are alive with the sound of music, you would be a 20-year-old nun.
Yes.
Thank God, I said.
You're welcome.
Thank God I wasn't humming Justin Bieber, I said.
Would you like me to be Justin Bieber?
No, I said, God forbid.
I don't forbid. That's a human thing. I prefer to live and let live.
So, what happens now?
That's up to you.
I'm sitting in a railway station, got a ticket for my destination. On a tour of one-night stands, my suitcase and guitar in hand, and every stop is neatly planned for a poet and a one-man band.
Thank you. I hope you enjoyed the weirdest rendition of Tom Waits you're ever going to hear. My name's Samina Zera, and I'm going to be telling some stories. There are two stories. The first one is called Riots in Mumbai. This one happened a long time ago, but I've told this story a lot, and I'm going to tell it to you tonight. In 1993, I was living in Mumbai. It was called Bombay then. I don't know if anybody remembers that. It's very weird for me. I had to change the name. In the early 90s, in another part of India, in a place called Ayodhya, some Hindu fundamentalists had brought down a mosque. That mosque had probably been built on the ruins of a Hindu temple a few centuries ago, in that endless cycle of ruin that human beings visit on one another. So that was happening there. The army was there. They were supposed to stop anything terrible happening, but they didn't. They just stood back, and mayhem ensued. So riots started to break out all over India between Hindus and Muslims. I'll be honest with you, if you have any familiarity with India, that is the easiest fucking touch paper to light. Ever since independence, Hindus and Muslims have been fighting with each other for no fucking reason that I can think of. Where I was living in Mumbai, it was particularly bad because Mumbai is the capital of Maharashtra, and Maharashtra has always had a state government which is a right-wing Hindu nationalist government called the Shiv Sena. They've been in power for many decades using such pithy slogans as Musalman ke dostan, Pakistan ya Kabristan, which loosely translated means there are only two places for Muslims, either Pakistan or the graveyard. I know, fun times. So it's early 93 and there's stuff going, it's safe to say there's stuff going on, right? And there are riots all over Mumbai. One of the other things about Mumbai is that Mumbai has some of the world's largest slums. And some of these slums are built on what ends up becoming prime real estate. But how do you get hold of that prime? It's very difficult to just get rid of, well, we did find out during the Brazil World Cup that apparently you can get rid of favelas and everybody in them. Same with Beijing Olympics, hutongs just disappeared. But so that was happening, so it was there, but the developers and the politicians saw an opportunity and rubbing their hands together like Mr. Burns in The Simpsons, I imagine. I have no empirical evidence for that, but I'm sure it did happen. They thought, we can do this, let's fucking do this, this is a great time. And so they burnt out and flooded out a lot of these slums, and they're like, oh yes, yes, the Hindus did that one. Yes, oh, the Muslims did that one. Yes, yes, Smithers released the hounds. I don't think they said that, but you know. At the time, I was living in a block of flats. It was one of 6 blocks. So 3 blocks here, 3 blocks there. There was a massive road in between with storm drains on either side and marshland at the back. One of the days during all this rioting, I went down to go out and cross the road to I wanted some red onions. I think I was making an omelette or something. And as I went down, I had to pass our chowkidar, which is a watchman. He was our day watchman. He was also a night watchman. He needed 2 jobs. He just slept all night. He was very enterprising. It was fine. He was a lovely man. His name was Kaku. He was very old. He was like 200, maybe 300 years old. I don't know. He looked like a tiny walnut on legs. It's beautiful. Also, he had 1 tooth in his mouth, right? It was in his lower jaw and just stuck up like that. And his wife would come every lunchtime and she'd bring his lunch, and quite often it would be something like rice balls. And he would just stick a ball on his tooth and suck around it. Yes, all the time conversing with you. It was mesmerizing. People would come from miles to see Kaku eat his lunch. Small crying children would be, oh. It's amazing. So on this day when I went down and I went to pass him to go out, and he went, hey, Muslim. He never learnt my name. He refused to learn my name. And I'd always say to him, Kaku, I'm not a Muslim. What are you? I'm an atheist. What is that? I don't believe in God. But God exists, Muslim. No point arguing, right? No point arguing. So he said, hey, Muslim, don't go out, there's rioting. And I was like, Kaku, don't worry about it. I'm just crossing the road to get some onions. I'll be fine. And I went out, and as I got out from our road onto the main road, ahead of me, about 10 meters to my right, 10 feet to my right, just on the ground, the burning body of a human being. I could not even tell if it was a man or a woman. Somebody had burnt them and left them there. I was like, oh, I don't need any fucking onions. I probably never need onions again. In the middle of all this rioting one day, somebody came around to tell all the chowkidars of all the buildings. They were like, oh, listen, the Shiv Sena is coming tonight to take all the Muslims. So if you have any Muslims living in these buildings, let them know they can go and stay with relatives or friends till all this trouble dies down. Now, 6 blocks, about 180 flats. And in those flats, there are Hindus, Muslims, Christians, Jews, Parsis, Buddhists, Sikhs, you name it. One of the wonderful things about India is that every religion under the sun exists there. And there's 1 billion people, and somehow they just manage to rub along. So far, so good, right? The easiest thing, it's a big city, right? Nobody knows their neighbors. Nobody gives a shit. The easiest thing would have been for them to say, look, Muslim neighbors, we don't mind you, but can you just piss off? We don't need this hassle. But they didn't do that. The first thing that everybody did was they removed the name badges from the post boxes. Because in India, you can tell immediately from a name what religion a person is, sometimes even their caste. So they took those off so nobody could identify where anybody was. Then a load of people started patrolling the street in between, the road in between the blocks of flats and the flat roofs. And they had all kinds of improvised weapons. They had like hockey sticks and cricket bats and kirpans, which is a dagger that Sikh people wear. Somebody had a ladle. I don't know what they were doing. Oh, here, take some poison soup. Later, you will have a bad stomach and you will be very sorry that you did writing. I don't know what the fuck that was. Anyway, so that was going on. And every so often, a police convoy would come past or something. They'd come and everyone would just drop their weapons in the storm drain and just wander around in groups of 2 and 3, like, you know, Victorian ladies by the seaside, just gossiping away. And I don't know if the police ever thought there was something weird about the fact that there's just loads of people on this road, but all in groups of 2 or 3, because any more than that, they can be done for loitering. But they didn't say anything. That just happened, right? So this was going on. About 2 o'clock in the morning, and we were all awake. Nobody was sleeping. It's fucking terrifying, right? About 2 o'clock in the morning, somebody set up a cry, and they said, they're coming. And I looked out of my window, and across the marshland, I saw this phalanx of about 40 or 50 people coming towards us. They were all carrying torches. I don't mean Duracell Bunny, I last for 48-hour torches. I mean, get Shrek out of the fucking village torches. And they're all just coming towards us, and there's a flurry of activity, and people were just like, okay, here, have you got your cricket bat? Have you got to put the fucking ladle down here, take a stick. And they're just, across the road from me, I saw this couple silhouetted against, they were standing right by the window, and their room light just silhouetted them. They looked like sort of shadow puppets, just very, very still, waiting for the puppeteer to animate them just, and I could hear the sound, all this scurrying above the sound of my blood just pounding in my ears. And I don't know, and then suddenly I heard a sound of somebody banging a couple of stainless steel utensils together. And then another flat did it, like somebody who had stayed back, a man, a woman, a child, and another flat, another flat, another flat, another flat, another flat. Within a minute, there's the sound of like 180 flats just banging stainless steel utensils together. The silhouette across the road from me just disconnected for a minute, and the woman ran away, and she came back, and I could see her face in the light. Just for a second, her eyes were wide, and she had a determined face, and she was carrying a stock pot and a ladle. Finally, the ladle made sense. And they started banging, and I heard myself shouting just to add to the noise. It was a huge sound. It was a magnificent sound. It was the kind of sound you expect to hear if somebody said the words, "Release the Kraken." And the phalanx of people just stopped. They just stopped. And all I could see was this like black mass just pulsing like a breath, and this fire against the night sky. I don't know what was going on for them. Maybe they were in there going, oh, what's that noise? That sounds very weird. I don't know, it sounds clanging. Do you think they have swords or guns or something? Do you think that woman is there with the poison soup? She always, I can't be there. I don't know, I think you should go and check. No, you go and check. I have a family at home. Nobody cares about you. I don't know what was going on, right? I don't know what was going on for them, but they stopped and they listened. And then they turned around and they left. And I felt something welling up inside me. I can't explain it. I was just like, oh my God, Kaku, I love you. You can call me anything you like. I don't care. Today I love you. That woman who's always leaving her rubbish at the bottom of my stairs and I trip over it every fucking day. Today I love you. Those children who are always banging on my door and running away, you little shits. But today I love you. I love you all. It didn't last long because I hate people. But for a moment there, I was like, this is what we did. We did this together. How is this even possible? And I think we can do that. You can do it. I can do it. Anytime we want, we can release a Kraken. The Kraken that day was, what was it? It was solidarity. But I think there are limitless possibilities of what the Kraken can be. And we can release it anytime we like. I'm going to introduce... Thank you. I'm going to introduce your next poet, the very wonderful Jeremiah Brown. Just as I've taken it.
Thank you. Hey, how you doing? You good? Oh, okay, here we go. That choice to make a decision. Oh, wow. Are you guys good? Cool. Can we have another round of applause for Samina, please? Because hey, yeah, I'm Jeremiah. I am a poet. Ooh, scream one time for poetry. Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. That was actually brilliant. Usually, like, you're like, yeah, scream, and then the first one's like, and then you're like, is that the best you can do? And then you get them to do it again. You lot have thrown my whole, preamble out of whack because you were brilliant first time round. What is this? You're like that student in class who delivers when you're like, what? Why are you talking? Have you done the work? What's the answer to the question I just asked? And they give you the right answer. And you're like, damn it. Now I just have to move on. I didn't get to shame you. Possibilities. I'm not here to waffle and talk about my childhood. Just got a little bit dark for no reason. So when I think of possibilities, I think about who I want these possibilities for, and who I kind of want to open up the world for, and who I want to sort of see the world sort of become a better place for. And so the first people that come to mind are my boys. So I am from South London. Okay, cool. There's not many people from South London in the room because South London people are unruly. When they start, there'll be one person from South London who'll be like, "Brrrr!" They'll just like, yeah, you're here. I feel you. It's okay. I gave my own brap. But yeah, I think of, there's a term for your boys, your people, your brethren, your pals, your buddies, your chaps, your girls, your ladies, your lasses, mandem. So it's like a term of endearment for your boys. So that is to expand your vocabulary so you're not wondering what the hell I'm talking about in this next piece. But everybody has friends. Everybody has mandem, but your mandem aren't like my mandem. My mandem are badder than your mandem. Not bad as in bad you up type of mandem. Bad as in, have you seen my mandem? We're the type of mandem that get gas when the sauce is too much. Is that you, mandem? Rotted. I cut my finger, the trim is so sharp. Mandem. Easy, no? How you are dripping on so much sauce. Mandem. We're the type of mandem to never forget if you drop or flop. Why is it always me, mandem? Yes, I remember the time on New Block, mandem. Yes, I remember when Rodard speared me from behind and I was covered in mud, mandem. Yes, I remember walking hard into a tree, mandem. I laugh with the mandem and the mandem laugh at me, but the mandem do more than laugh. We're the type of mandem that ask, fam, I'm worried about you. What's good, mandem? You want to do therapy? Oh, that's sick, mandem. Bro, that's not okay. Do better, mandem. Nah, I proper appreciate you, mandem. I've got love for the mandem. Where would I be without the mandem? I thank God for the mandem. I need all the mandem. My boys tell me the truth. They tell it to me whether I want to hear it or not, and I appreciate that. I'm a better man for all the times that they've intervened. I might not be breathing without the mandem. I need all the mandem. I'd be gone without the mandem, and the mandem live all about the place. Thank you. Cheers. So, your house keys are never really your house keys. The proximity of buildings cannot define my community. Concrete is too fragile. Concrete never had my back. Concrete never bought me an Xbox. Concrete never invited me over and fed me. Concrete never kicked ball. Concrete never went to the pictures with me. Concrete never took wavy pictures of me. Concrete never sat next to me on a plane. Concrete never made me banging tofu for heaters. Concrete's never seen me waved. Concrete has never told me to stop playing with a girl's emotions. Concrete's never given me a hug when I most needed it. Concrete's never made me laugh. Concrete has never made me do that run away and come back kind of laugh. Concrete's never made me laugh till I cried. Concrete's never loved me because concrete ain't my boy. I'll choose my boys over buildings. I am from Croydon. Everywhere is far to people who ain't from here. But distance ain't a thing to me. Yeah, so I'm from Croydon, South London. And right, so if you spend any time south of, just in London in general, and you engage with people, at some point there will be just unnecessary slander that is received to those of the Croydon persuasive, where this sounds really deep. It's not that deep, but you know. So Croydon is Zone 5. Croydon's like its own little village, okay? No, that's wrong. I'm from Croydon. Anyways, Croydon is this place. And when you go into... So Croydon is a part of London. I'm going to say that from now. If you want to fight me afterwards, fight me afterwards. It's all right. It's immediate confrontation. But Croydon is... Let's say it's on the edge, okay? It's on the edge, the boundary line. So... we're often like rejected. I've been in situations where it's like South London versus North London, and then both South London and North London look at you like, but you're from Croydon. Like why are you here? And it's like South, like I was backing you. Like why did you turn on me? This is all to say that I now have like a new habit that I undertake, which this whole next poem is about. But at the end of last year, I finally bought a car, so I have a vehicle. Thank you, yes. I learned to drive 2 years ago, but the way my bank account is set up, it was fantastic that I learned to drive, because it ain't free. But this poem is called Robin Hood Flex, kinda. Well, not really, but kinda. Because I'm so efficient with my poem titles. Oh, and this information that I've started now, isn't it? So it's too late. I'm doing something called National Poetry Writing Month, which is you write a poem for a day, every day for the month of April. This is a poem that I started writing for NaPoWriMo, and it was serendipitous in the way that it was like, oh, it felt necessary. Also, I used the word serendipitous. I like to park up in areas where middle-aged white women stare at me as they return home from walking their dog. Faces full of judgment and confusion, thinking, who comes to scout out a house for robbery right before the school run? Love it. I sit, seat all the way back, being overtly inconspicuous so as to appear conspicuous. If I read newspapers, I'd sit with a broadsheet, but I don't, so it's novels and poetry books. I only park up in areas outside my financial lane for owning property that is currently everywhere I could possibly drive to. But you get the point. One day, I want to buy multiple houses on all these streets and then do like Oprah did with the cars. You get a house, and you get a house. Everybody gets a house. Here. I don't know if it would be closer to reverse gentrification or perhaps some form of minor reparations, but I want to do this in a room full of older black folk. Black folk who'd be considered elderly if they were white or if black cracked. I imagine the white women peering out the window, like out from behind their curtains, as a wave of flat caps and sweet perfume accosts their street. I know one auntie will see her and wave, and she'll scuttle back from the curtains like a coy fox in headlights. From now on, whenever white women stare at me, I'll think about my plans to co-opt their street and chuckle to myself. I bet some catch themselves being a little racist whilst looking at me and think, "Don't be silly, Margaret. He's not here to rob us." Chuckle, chuckle, chuckle. Next up, I have the pleasure of introducing the lovely Bella Cox.
One more time for Jeremiah, please. Going after him is always such a trip because he's so funny. And I don't consider myself the funniest person. But yeah, my name is Bella Cox, and I'm really excited to be here. I mean, we've known about this show for about like 8 months now, so it's been kind of in the back of my head for about 8 months, so to finally be here is like, okay, cool. So if we could all just do a breath together, that would be amazing. I know that's very, very hippie. But yeah, just, yeah, cool. Thank you. Cool, I'm gonna do 3 poems for you in this first set. And the word possibility for me kind of really interlinks with potential. And I've got this hashtag that I use all the time called #attempting artistry. I feel like we're all constantly attempting to be better, or at least I feel we should be, right? So this first one is just a very short one that's very new. I hold the glass to my lips long enough to taste the sand that birthed it. I do not ask how long the transformation waged on for, nor how painful it was, each granule unlearning itself into container. I do not ask that it shimmer in sunlight, bearing birthmarks and bruises of becoming. We all hurt somewhere. I ask only that it carry water, that it hold itself steady when and where it can, and that should it one day break, it allow itself without regrets back home to the sea. This next piece is all about periods. I feel like we've got a couple of people in here who might be environmental activists, and I am a staunch supporter of the Moon Cup. For those of you who maybe do not have the pleasure or the torture of having a uterus, a moon cup is essentially, it's a small silicone device that is inserted into the vagina. Yes, I said vagina in Oxford. I don't care. And it collects the menstrual cycle, and you can use one for 5 years, and it's much better for the environment. Of course, there's a whole thing. We can talk about moon cups after the show if you want to. I'm all about it. I'm actually starting a project called the Period Poem Project, which is speaking about periods from different perspectives, from all different types of people who have uteri. So come chat to me about your period if you want to. But yeah, this poem is entitled Moon Cup Continuum, and it speaks to the potential, I guess, for motherhood and fertility as well. But I have learned to love this viscous content, this daily birth, this silicone chalice, this daily birth into expectant hand, this silicone chalice, most days tipped into toilet bowl and forgotten. Some months displayed on bathtub enamel and observed. It is an awe-filled love, a perhaps overlong gaze and hold of this collected liquid miracle, perhaps not long enough. Call it proof, call it strength, call it protection, myth, virtue, loss, mere biology. This act is rehearsal. A practice, squat and push for future purpose, to ooze this life force, to pour then more into a whole body's worth someday. To sponge this red self from that new being, to cradle tiny arms, to uncover bright eyes. For now, though, I am content with only the squish of silicone. Only the musical red cell pour and splash into ceramic bowl. Only the split-second, dazed wonder at this monthly, womanly glory. Thank you. So just to clarify, I'm fully aware that there are a lot of people with uteri in this room who are very angry about this perception of periods, because there are a lot of people who do not experience pleasant periods. I'm fully aware of this. The project is going to be speaking to all different people with different experiences, just so that's clear. Because yeah, it's not easy for a lot of women. Cool, this next one is also about womanhood. I envision a world in which I do not have to write a poem about this. And so I'm going to do it for now because we still live in this world. This is entitled Womanhood, Chapter 3. At work, I hug a man in greeting. In return, he humps me 3 times. I pinch the back of his neck as if I am squishing the hard shell of a beetle until he lets me go, laughs. Strong woman, huh? Another day, I share an idea with a team of men. 8 eyes look away until it is adopted by a baritone. A day before, I stand in the shower until the water goes cold, razor in one hand, scream in the other. On the underground, I watch a woman notice my legs, watch her eyes bulge, watch her unable to blink away. Another morning, walking through a park, a Rottweiler man barks that he enjoys the way my body cannot help but jiggle. My jaw stays clenched all day. Another walk, and a preteen boy calls after my smile, asks where it is, as if he's earned it. At the bar, I will not laugh at the rape joke. Pretend not to notice, eyes roll. At a salon, the beautician cocks her head, says the hair on mine should be longer, more feminine. In bed with a man, he refuses to taste me, says hair on a woman's body is unclean. An hour later, I watch him consume a furry peach whole. Another day, pretzeled in another pub toilet, jamming another door closed with my foot. No one can explain how the lock broke. I stare at the only female bartender. On the news, another man's DNA has been found inside the body of another unconscious girl, and a stone-faced reporter airs questions as to how it got there, as if this is the first time, as if none of our lives are connected. And I think of my grandmother, of every groaning soul before and after her. Imagine them all rising as one beneath a full moon, a howl to end all others. Today, I lock eyes with the woman on the tube, dare her to say it. I rip a growl from my throat for the man on the street, dare him to chase it. I snarl, "Fuck you," at the preteen, at the jokers, at the shame blushing my cheeks. I demand the bar fix its damn door. I tell the lover to leave. I howl at the TV, at my mirrored face, at the moon, who does so much nothing. Thank you. I'd like to introduce Mike McKeon once more, so please keep the round of applause going for Dr. Blue.
One, two. Let's have a round of applause to Bella Cox. This is a song that I wrote with Samina. It's called Silent Man. Why speak when a look says 1,000 words? Leave me alone. Give your bread to the birds. I'll find my way from the lines on my hand. I don't need or want you to understand. I'll make do, move on. I work when I can. I'm in no hurry. I'm a silent man. I'm a silent man. Why stare at a face you don't understand? At mistakes you think I've made. I don't need the comfort of your Bible. I'm not planning, I'm being saved. I make do, move on. I work when I can. I'm in no hurry. I'm a silent man. I'm a silent man. Why speak when a look says 1,000 words? Leave me alone. Give me bread to the birds. I'll find my way from the lines on my hand. I don't need to want you. Oh, don't understand. I make to move on. I work when I can. I'm in no hurry. I'm a silent man. I'm a silent man. Thank you. Would you please welcome back onto the stage Jeremiah?
It's me again. Sick. So I have a show that I'm doing. It's called Little Rum with Grandma. I did it last week. It sold out. It was brilliant. One of my friends, not my friends. I'm trying to figure out the most convenient, simple way of saying this. I have two little brothers. One of them is in primary school. My mum is friends with another mum who has a daughter who's not in my brother's year, but they're friends. Cool. So that family comes to see my show. The daughter, she's there as well. She doesn't sit with her mum and dad because I find out later she's like, no, mum, I want to sit at the front so I can see everything. I'm like, okay, cool. The age guidance says plus 14 and you're 8, but it's great, sit at the front. And she's sitting at the front and she's got this pack of seats. I'm performing the show. I can see her with these seats. I'm like, I can see your mind right now thinking, I want these sweets. How do I open them silently? She's trying. She's there for about a good 30, 40 seconds trying to open these sweets. Like, she should have just ripped it. Just straight, ugh, that was disgusting. Loads of spit. Should have just opened them. She didn't. But, you know, she was great. It was funny. Haha. Yeah, I didn't, like, break out. Anyways, she saw the show. She loves the show. There's feedback forms. So she proudly, like, hands me the feedback form afterwards after the show. Mind you, feedback forms aren't supposed to go to me. They're supposed to go to, you know, front of house. But, you know, she doesn't know that. She's 8. I'm like, okay, thank you. Oh, feedback form. Read feedback form. It was great. I loved it. There was a bit too much death. It was her honest feedback. So, what I'm going to talk about next is death. There's a lot of death in the first bit. So she's not here, so she can't complain. Ha. But yeah, when I think of possibilities and potential, I think it's important to frame it around death and the reality of our own mortality, because we can't appreciate the possibilities that we have if we don't appreciate that we are indeed finite. And if we don't appreciate that we are finite and we don't engage that possibility almost as well. We can take it for granted. And there's a lot of things that kind of revolve around that. So yeah. They're laughing because we went for Chinese before this. And Samina was like, oh, I'm probably gonna just be burping all the way through the show. I was like, haha, yeah, it was all a joke. I knew that I was 100% gonna be the one person to actually do it on stage. I apologize. It doesn't smell. I count myself lucky. Most of my people are still alive, though I've lost people that God should have left alone. Then again, maybe I just haven't lived long enough for people to die or desert me. Sometimes I find myself waiting for morbid news because who gets to be this lucky? Why are so many of the people that I love still alive? Ooh, one second. Yesterday, I told the man them that I love them because death doesn't discriminate with age. It comes for the whole spectrum. Youngest to oldest, everyone's eligible for a funeral from birth. I need to tell my people that I love them more often. Sometimes your voice speak and it shifts you off your axis. Makes you remember that you are not the largest object in the solar system. Planets don't revolve around you. I am obscenely self-centered. I barely remember family members' birthdays. And I don't mean like uncles and cousins I don't see. I mean immediate family members. I almost forgot my nan's birthday this year. I tell people not to be offended if I forget their birthday, which is really just a poor way of saying don't expect me to remember you. I don't remember anybody. I'm selfish. Last year, my boy told me he just told me about some family issues. We went to a park, sat on a bench, and he shared about everything that was going on with him, how his sister wasn't doing so well. I heard the words coming out of his mouth and wondered how he was keeping it all together. You can know a man and still not know what a man is going through. Recently, he gave an update in the group chat, told us about some good news with his sister, and I was happy for him, but I thought about the last time that we spoke about it and realized I hadn't checked in on him about his sister in almost a year. Almost a year, and I couldn't care enough to ask how he was doing. Almost a year, and I couldn't check in on him for that. I'm grateful for the patience of my loved ones. Death can't be a surprise. It's the only thing that we know is definitely going to happen, and still it catches us unawares. Like the beauties of deep purples in a sunset. I hope I improve before then, for my friend's sake. I've had too many daydreams about the ways I might die. Lived too many days with phantom blades in my body. I think I've been on train platforms where the person beside me has thought about pushing me into the tracks. I thought about stepping in front of an oncoming train. Sometimes I blink and think how quickly I'd be gone if I was stood next to someone with a bomb. I tell my boy that 25 is not a quarter-life crisis. I'm probably closer to being halfway done. He legit screams, rebukes such talk, banishes it from my spirit, says I ought to stop swearing for my own destiny. I hear people say, speak it into existence, and I low-key hope that all that stuff is nonsense for my own sake. For my age. And it stays the same for the next 20 years. If I die, then the most likely cause is that I took my own life. It's mad to know. To look in the mirror and to know if I'm dead in the next 20 years, the most likely cause is myself. That's just statistics. I don't like when death is a locked off rave. Rather, it be the slow emptying of a party where you are left dancing with the lights on, a true worshipper of the DJ. This way, you know you miss nothing. Know if the DJ played your favorite song, if there was dancehall, if funky house got spun. Locked off speakers blare with potential. A silence that asks questions. A silence with no answers. Sweet. We're going to let in the gentleman who's outside. And then we are... Oh, the door's not opening. That's tragic. Oh, it locked it. We're all locked in. You're in for the long haul. There's no... That's like my favorite word. Wait! Oh, they sent him low, so it opened and then he's come. Oh, is he locked out that way as well? This is banter. Wait, hey! Ooh. You lot were not with me on that round of applause at all. That's fine. Introducing Samina.
I'm not using this microphone, that's for sure. I use this one. Is this one? Yeah, it's working. Good. Hooray. So this is the second story I'm going to tell you. It's the first story I told you, the riots in Mumbai. I've told that story a lot. This story, which is called Kya Kaha Aotearoa, this is the first time I'm telling this story. So I do have some notes here. And I might refer to them, I might not, we'll see. So it's a new story. It didn't happen a very long time ago, but it started a very long time ago. When I was 11, we had an English lesson, and in that English lesson, we were taught about the country of New Zealand. And it was fascinating to me because I grew up, when I was 11, I was in boarding school in India. And it was this world far away, and there was something about the things that they described and the language. I found the language voluptuous. There were all these words. There were words like hangi, which is the food, a traditional food that is cooked in a pit with hot stones. There's a thing called hongi, which is a greeting in which you exchange breath. You touch noses and you exchange breath and you sort of belong to each other, which is fun. When I grew up, I was like, ooh, what do you do if you have a cold? But that's, when you're a child, you don't think about that shit. There's a concept of aroha, which is love, but it's more than just individual love. It's a love of life. It's a love of how you live, of how you approach the world. There's the concept of whanau, which is family, but more than family. It's tribe. It's the people you choose. It's the people who choose you. And all of these words just seem magical and all the sense. And when I was 11, I thought, one day, I'll go to New Zealand. And I forgot about it. And I didn't forget, but I forgot about it. And then in 2016, I was touring with one of my shows, and I had the chance to go to New Zealand Fringe, which happens in Wellington. The year before that, I'd been in Australia with my show. I'd met some Kiwis there. They were doing a show. We got along really well. They were like, you should totally come to Wellington Fringe. It'll be amazing. And I was like, I've always wanted to do this since I was 11. I'm totally going. And I did. And I turned up there, and I knew more about Kiwis than I had known when I was 11. I'd met some actual real Kiwis. Most of them were white, but some of them were Samoan and Maori, and that was great. The first time I went there, my friend who had told me to come took me to a place called Lyell Bay in Wellington. And it's just beautiful. It's a bay. You can see the plains land, and you can see mountains and forests and all of the sea. And it's beautiful and it's wonderful. And the people are amazing, and they're hospitable and they're friendly. They're very chilled out. It's freaky. It is freaky because you can be at a restaurant sitting outside, and you can leave your bag and just take your wallet to go and pay, and nobody steals your bag. What the fuck is that? I don't get it. Obviously, I'm aware of the fact that not everything is hungry. Any country that has suffered the violence of colonization doesn't come away unscathed, right? There's socioeconomic differences there. There's problems. There's a lot of gangs. There are the main gangs are the Black Panthers and the Mongrel Mob. The Mongrel Mob, their leader is a guy called Sunny Fatu. He's an absolute sort of character, and he has the full tattoo, head to toe tattoos. His face is tattooed. I don't know why, if you're going to be in a criminal enterprise, you'd want to be so easily identifiable. Fuck, I don't know. He's very politically active as well. So there's all of that going on. There's also, like, their violence seems very tame to someone like me, okay? Because I was 12 years old when I read The Godfather, for example. I was a very poorly supervised child. It's fine. I grew up, I spent a lot of my childhood in Kashmir in northern India, and they've had 30 years of civil unrest. We've had terrorists in our house holding a gun to my uncle's head to extort money. You know, I went on a march with thousands of other people to stop an illegal war that we created, that we led, that has caused death and destruction for 10 million people. I was in London on July 7th, 2005. So to me, like, two gangs fighting and then having a sit down because one person died by mistake, it's pretty fucking tame. I mean, up your game, guys, if you want anyone to be scared of you. So we're there. There's just being there, New Zealand, or Aotearoa, as they call it, that's the Maori name for it, sort of became my spiritual home. And I loved it. And I went back every year with a new show, except in 2017 when I couldn't afford to go. It doesn't matter. Oh, no, 2018 I couldn't afford to go, but then I went back again. So in March, last month, I was in New Zealand with my last show. I was in Wellington, and I'd finished my shows. My shows finished by the 10th. It was great. I'd had a great time. The shows went well. And I was going to Dunedin Fringe at the end of the month, but I thought, usually when I'm touring a show, I do my show in a city, I'm there for the few days of the show, and then I'm off to the next place. And this time I'd gone, no, I'm going to stay. I'm going to see all the other shows. I'm going to go up to Paikakariki. I'm going to go off to the Wairarapa Hills. I'm going to do all this stuff. And then on Friday, the 15th of March, a white supremacist walked into a place of worship, and he opened fire on a community of people on their most holy day while they gathered together in prayer. He was a stranger to the mosque, of course he was, but he was ushered in by an elder who welcomed him with the words, "Welcome, brother." Those were the last words that gentle old man ever said before this man shot him in cold blood. And he was just one of 50 people that this man ended up killing. I had a sense of devastation, and the reason was this. It felt like an innocent bystander had been caught in some sort of crossfire. There was a sense that they had been wounded for no reason at all. This place is gentle. It's not like the places I come from. It's not like the places I've lived. It's not like there's never been racism. Maori and Samoan and Polynesian communities have been talking about it for ages. Obviously, I don't know if we know about the Treaty of Waitangi, which the Brits totally fucked up, which is a thing they did all over their colonies. Like, oh, we're leaving. Just before we leave, here's a turd in the bath for you. Bye! Which is a thing. Anybody who's been colonized by the Brits knows this happens. It's a weird one for me because I'm a child of the colonies. I'm also a child of colonization. It's fucking nonsense. Anyway, but in the context of the rest of the world, I think the racism that was there was so low grade. It was just this kind of whiffling, piffling stuff, and people just thought, fuck it, we don't need to nip this in the bud. We can ignore it. And this is what happened. This is what ended up happening. I had no idea what would happen, but I was devastated because I knew that this is going to change this country in ways that they are not even aware of as yet. And for a while, my heart was hurting for them, and for a while, everything seemed to happen in slow motion, in a fog, like in a dream when you're running, but your feet are stuck in quicksand. There were weird sort of world snapshots. Fraser Anning, a senator in Australia, made a statement that said, well, if you hadn't had to have Muslim migration, this is what happens. What the fuck? Where did that come from? In the Mirror, there was a picture of this angelic boy. Newsnight over here had an interview that same fucking night with the leader of a white supremacist group. What is going on? It's like having one of the leaders of Al-Qaeda after 9/11 on an interview going, what do you think of this latest atrocity? It was horrendous. But in New Zealand, it was different. So I don't know how much of this you guys saw, but Jacinda Ardern, straight away, like banning the guns, calling the man a terrorist. In New Zealand, nowhere did they show this man's face. His face was blurred. His name was not taken. He was the criminal, the terrorist. That's all he was. I was treated to the bizarre and beautiful sight of Sani Fatu with all his fucking tattoos, hugging an old Muslim man outside a mosque. These two most unlikely people to come together. The first thing that happened was that every mosque, the length and breadth of New Zealand, had a police guard outside. These Maori gangs, these people that you consider violent, these people that are outside the law, ringed the mosques and said, these are our Muslim whanau. We will guard them while they pray. All of the relatives who needed to come for the funerals, their visas were expedited within 24 hours. Jacinda Ardern said, we will pay for your funerals. We will pay for your families. For as long as you live here, we don't care what your immigration status is. You belong to us. You are our community. This man is not ours. It was weird. It was something I didn't understand. I'm so used to the binary of us and them. That's where I've existed. This was not a possibility to me. I went to a vigil, and in the vigil, there were like 11,000 people in the basin in Wellington. And all the people who spoke, except for the mayor of Wellington, who looks like a 12-year-old boy. I don't know if anybody's checked his ID, but he looks 12. Apparently he's 37. I don't know. But he was a white guy. The rest of everybody who spoke was a person of color, a community leader, Maori, Samoan, Muslim. And they opened parliament with the azan, which is the call to prayer. And I was iffy about that because I'm not for religion in places of government. I think religion and government are separate. But in that moment, they were having an emotional response. They had a day of hijab. Again, I'm not a fan. But you know, there are two types of hijab in the world. There is the hijab that women are forced to wear, and there is the hijab that women are not allowed to wear. And they are two completely different things that are born in the same place, the control and subjugation of women. And in that moment, it was just about women making an emotional response and saying, we stand by you. A random woman hugged me in the street and she said, I'm so sorry. And I was like, why are you saying sorry to me? Oh, you're a white woman, I'm a brown woman. Clearly, this has affected me. And you know, over here, I would have taken that as a microaggression and I would have thought, you're just assuming because I'm brown, I'm Muslim. But no, in that moment, that's not what it was. It was just a nation that was heartbroken and needed to express themselves somehow. It was kind of, there was graffiti saying, you know, Muslim whanau and fuck white supremacy. The whole conversation was not about anything else. It was about how did this happen here? How did we let this happen? And how can we ever stop this happening again? It was mind-blowing, and it still has a sort of dreamlike quality to me. The day before I left Wellington, I went down to Lyell Bay, and I was just sitting there. I just wanted to take in the sea and the air and the mountains and just feel it wash over me. I really didn't want to leave. I thought, do you think I can go to Wellington Immigration and just go, I really love you, can I stay? I don't think there's a box on the immigration form you can tick for that. But before we created borders to alienate ourselves from one another, that might have been an option, but not now. And I was just sitting on the wall staring out, and a man came walking past. I didn't know him. As he passed me, he called out, "Kia ora, friend." And I said, "Kia ora" back. And he stopped and we started chatting, just two strangers by the sea. Not a thing I would normally do, especially not with a strange man. And maybe not a thing he would normally do, but these were not normal times. Of course, we talked about the massacre. He'd been at the Basin Vigil too, so we'd already met in a way. We'd already been in the same place at the same time for the same purpose. He was part Maori, part Welsh, and he was sad, but also he was hopeful. And he said to me, "Don't be sad, friend. Kia kaha, be strong. We have aroha, love, and we will find a way to use this tragedy to bring us closer together and be better to one another." And I thought, I believe you. I think you might be able to do that. Can we, though, this far away at the other end of the world, do we have the capacity to do this? Even imagining that possibility is not easy. To be robust, kia kaha, to be strong, and to call things out, but also to do it with aroha, with love. Is that possible? Can we do it? We are love and we are hate. And we have grown so used to hate that we cease to question its existence. All we do is try to mitigate its effects. But there in New Zealand, they've released a kraken. And it's not fear or hate. It's love and compassion. Can we accept the possibility of aroha? I think we can. I think we have to try. And so I say to myself and to you and to everybody who wants to hear it, and even those who don't, aroha nui, kia kaha, kia kaha, kia kaha. No. Back to Jeremiah. Use your dirty microphone.
Wow. Sweet. I saw flowers outside the park, a memorial. Is that to do with the tram crash too? He whispered his answer like it were a dirty word wrapped in shame, something that shouldn't be said out loud on a bus. I couldn't hear. None of us did. He repeated himself louder, but parts of his sentence dropped out when the bus revved. A young man killed, himself hanged. He was only young, 30. There's a hush that follows, the one only ever broken by so sad. I'm the only man that turned up for the talk on self-care. I only got my ticket that morning, meaning the only man just about turned up. We spoke about pressure and coping, and not just in theory, but really, like when it's really real, like when someone kills one of the children in my communities, real. After that, I don't want to meditate, real. Here, I am the voice of men and it feels strange. I have someone to talk to. I have my poems, unlike most men. I'm assuming you've been through depression. He asked me, having heard my poem, I've just performed it. I tell him that I don't know. I never spoke to anyone, I never checked or got help. I just wrote the poem. I just wrote where I was. I just wrote what I felt. We're talking and it's mad. We're talking to know. We're talking to look in the mirror. We're talking and to know. We're talking if I'm dead in 5 years. We're talking it was probably me. Statistics.
So So we're very aware that we've lost a fair amount of our audience, so thank you so much to the troopers who are sticking around. We're aware that it's about 10:30 and there are some early talks tomorrow. Who's getting up for an early talk tomorrow? Yeah. Well then, thank you so much for sticking around. We're nearly finished. Mike and I are going to do a piece together, which, in the way of artists, we've never actually fully done together. So it's going to be great. And then I'm going to do a last poem, and then we'll bid you all adieu. So it's nearly over. For those of you who are like, really? Well, how long is this going to go on for? Don't worry. Cool. So I'm really obsessed with connectivity. This next piece is all about that and the possibility for what could be connected and what could be interconnected. And currently it's titled Annual Revisiting. So Mike, take it away. West Ham Park at dusk, a tree stump, freshly cut, each ring rippling itself like a spider's spiraled web, friction ridges of a thumbprint, grooves in a vinyl record, a tree life spanning 2 hands of scattered palm lines, migration of skin and scar. How did we begin? Slow spinning satin rings of countless ice fragments blinking into dawn, or a millisecond miracle flame blooming from match in the dark. How tadpoles wriggle into frog, babies giggle into understanding, one birthday after another. The song gaining and losing its wonder, moments that feel both old and new. Life's revolving record with scratches of déjà vu, with scratches of déjà vu, with now pendulum swinging between after and before, 2 human hands, shadow puppeting a dinosaur, that song that keeps on playing somewhere, another birthday candle blown out, beat-skipping dandelion seeds, whispering adventure to the wind, we, the ever-evolving 8 billion fingerprints and no 2 identical, cheeks rising to smile with tree bark wrinkles, freckles praised as stars and no constellation the same, tree stumps whose rings mirror our solar system, all of us, Russian nesting doll souls growing into one sugar-spun web of consciousness, silk strands, so fragile, fierce, so infinite, insignificant, an expansive, sparkling universe, or morning dewdrops glistening for a moment on a spider web. Thank you. Thank you. That's an idea that's been in my head for like a year, so I'm really glad that I finally have a version of it. This is my last piece. It's our last piece. And it's for you. It's a parting gift for you. Thank you all so much for sticking with us. And maybe see you next year. Yeah. Yeah, round of applause, actually, quickly. Round of applause for the audience. Thank you. This is for the wide-eyed wanderers, the Aquarius star-kissing water bearers, the synapse-bending, neuron-splitting truth seekers. This is for the people who still allow themselves to spill, frothy with cream or cracked and splintering. This is for those of us pursuing the stupid dream, giving the mic to our hearts and our hearts to the mic. This is for every sharp glass memory smoothed down to kind allegory. This is for art and music and sweet, sweet poetry. This is for the breath that made the pulse that beat the blood that pumped the soul into being here in this moment. This is for the way home hugs you close when you find it. This is for staying persistently open-minded. This is for feet that keep dancing without music or guidance. This is for you who believes without needing evidence. This is for the hearts cracked and mended and still giving. This is for you who keeps your lungs expanding no matter how freezing the air has become. This is for you, you death-defying sum of love, determination, and truth. This is for daring to live as you. This is for getting up and trying.
And trying.
And trying.
And trying.
And trying.
This is for getting up and trying. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody. Let's hear it for these performers.